Okay guys, it's time for another one of these Habs news update thingy-majiggies, and in today's jiggy we got quite a bit of news to discuss. Mike Matheson is out long term, Logan Mailloux is about to get back in action, and there's quite a bit of Jonathan Drouin drama going on. Who could have figured that? But first, let's take a quick look at Montreal Canadiens stud Owen Beck. He scored a pair of goals the other night against the London Knights, including the overtime winner. The guy is an absolute beauty, and I'm telling you, he's gonna explode like a Brendan Gallagher temper tantrum down there. It's only a matter of time. Next up, speaking of the London Knights, Logan Mailloux is back on the menu. He's completely healthy and the Canadiens have reassigned him to his OHL team. And if you're wondering when you're going to see old Mailloux back in action, according to hockey insider Hockey Junkie himself, he's likely going to be playing his first game on Wednesday against the Owen Sound Attack. Now, out of all of these defense prospects that the Canadiens have, I gotta say, it's going to be pretty cool to finally get to see what we have in this guy, you know what I mean? Hopefully he can stay healthy, maybe take a dozen of those Flintstone vitamins a day and all that good stuff, because he's gotta play a full season, man. Gee. Now, continuing the trend here with the prospect news, specifically in the OHL, Philippe Majiggys, you know I'm talking about, the other guy that was picked in the first round this year that, well, everyone seems to forget about. Yeah, him. Well, it sounds like he's officially about to join an OHL team. Look at that. Dude Where's Majiggys is going to be the newest member of the Kitchener Rangers. Now, from what I understand, there was a lot of back and forth going on between Majiggys and his agent with Kent Hughes. I think Majiggys originally wanted to go back and play in Slovakia, then he settled for Laval, but El Doctor Hughes, he had other plans, okay? Hughes was beginning to have these visions of Majiggys just lighting up the stat sheet for a year in junior, and what Hughes wants, well, Hughes gets. The Canadiens have also announced that they have signed 2021 4th round pick William Trudeau to his entry-level contract. Look at this one. Count me in as a guy that thinks it was well deserved, okay? Trudeau was one of the standouts I thought during the rookie camp. Last season, he put up 44 points in 68 games in the queue, and this year, it's still up in the air because we don't know whether this guy's going to play a full season in Laval or go back to the juniors in the queue. Personally, I see him sticking in Laval for a little bit with the baby Habs because these guys are already dealing with injury problems. Time for some bad news. 22-year-old defense prospect Gianni Fairbrother is not only out with a knee injury, but his season is already done. Jeez, before it even began. Some pretty shitty luck for this guy. I mean, knee injuries aren't fun, and if it's bad enough that he's going to miss the entire season, then yeah, that's not a good sign at all. Now, speaking of injuries, as many of you are all aware, Montreal Canadiens defenseman Mike Matheson's injury appears to be much worse than what we had originally thought. He's now going to be missing up to 8 weeks to start this season with what they're calling an abdominal muscle strain. Sounds like not a fun time at all for Matheson. And what this does is it puts the Canadiens in a little bit of a bind, okay? Because even with the mathematician here, this already is a very young decor, but without him. I mean, the first couple of games of the season, the Habs have had 4 rookie defensemen. That's all good, it's fine, you know, as long as it doesn't hinder their development in any way. I'm not sure if this update on Mike Matheson's injury is going to force Kent's hand to pick up one of these random goofballs, you know, like a Mike Riley or someone to come in and temporarily fill these shoes, but it's definitely worth keeping an eye on. Now, one thing I do know is picking up old Jonathan Honda Civic or whatever his name is on waivers is looking more and more like a banger of an idea all the time. He's already looking good. And you know what we're gonna do? We're gonna mile that Civic out. I can sense it. Now, one of the last things that I want to talk about here is the whole Johnny Drouin situation, okay? Drouin was a healthy scratch for the first 2 games this season, and there's been some weird video footage of him floating around on social media where he's just, you know, all by his little lonesome self at the end of the bench during practice, looking like a complete outcast. Look at him. Everybody's beginning to wonder if this guy even has, you know, a spot in the lineup anymore, but Apparently, he does. He's actually going to be playing tonight against the Washington Capitals as Rim Pitlick has been pulled out temporarily. And I don't know, if you're asking me, you got two options when it comes to Jonathan Drouin, okay? Keeping in mind, of course, that this is his contract year. Here we go, option number one. You play him. You let him into the lineup, let him find his game, and hope to God that he doesn't get injured eating a bag of potato chips. And then when the time is right, you sell him off at the trade deadline, when his value is actually high. Or option number two, you deal with him right now, when his value is obviously at its lowest. Maybe you waive him, or you buy him out, or just cover him in Meow Mix and feed him to a pack of starving cats. There's a lot of ways to get creative with this. But, in all honesty, okay, getting rid of him right now only makes sense if he's a distraction for the entire team. Okay, and if Drouin is that big of a distraction, then sure, get rid of his ass now. But otherwise, I think that the best bet is to just get his sorry ass back into the lineup and let him put up some points. And then when the timing is right, put him on the old NHL eBay and get rid of him right near the trade deadline. But anyway, guys, that does it for this one. You tell me what you would do with old Johnny Drouin. I want to hear all about it. Don't forget to slap the face of the like button on the way out of here. And hey, I'll see you next time.